So we move from one phenomenal matchup to another. Timmy Cuamba looking to claim his second victory inside the Freedom Fight Night cage, Frank. His first was super impressive, a dominant victory of control over Dimitri Miller, but he said he wants to make this one even more impressive.
Yeah, Cuamba is a phenomenal grappler, wrestling-based, strong, and on top of that, he's just really built a phenomenal striking background on top of it. So he's built what is really the classical, most dangerous, I feel, style to have. You have a guy who started off young, very young as a wrestler, and as he got older, he added the striking and footwork to complement that, and you have really a complete mixed martial artist who's extremely dangerous in Cuamba.
Now, Frank, next up we are set to welcome Cody Crazy Legs Huard. Now look, this guy's got more experience in the cage than Timmy Cuamba. He recognizes Cuamba is a dangerous opponent, but look, this guy, when I tell you about his story, is something else. Nicknamed Crazy Legs, he had a lot of issues with his legs when he was a young man. He had to have operations at the age of 8, at the age of 10, at the age of 13, and then again at the age of 24 to try and correct the issues he had with his legs. His very kind brothers gave him that nickname, Crazy Legs, but maybe Crazy Mind, because by the age of 13, 14, this wasn't a man who was, you know, that wasn't going to define him. He started grappling and wrestling at the age of 13 and 14. He then started wrestling with some high-level guys, and one of the guys was moving so well, he said, how'd you do that? He went jiu-jitsu. Now, everybody said you shouldn't wrestle. When he went to jiu-jitsu, everybody said you shouldn't do jiu-jitsu. He then said, I'm going to do mixed martial arts. Everybody said, you cannot do mixed martial arts. This guy has proved them wrong every step of his life. Here we have the tail of the tape. We look at that there. 7 years the younger is Cuamba. Slight height and reach on the side of Cody Huard. Let's get this on the way. Let's hand it to our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is 3 rounds in our featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He weighed in at 144.7 pounds. Fighting out of a BK MMA by way of Las Vegas, Nevada, representing Team Ortiz, and returning to the Freedom Fight Night stage, Twilight, Timmy Cuamba. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 4 wins and 5 losses. He weighed in at 143.6 pounds, fighting out of Sun City, Arizona, and representing Team Bader, Cody Crazy Legs Huard. And your referee in charge of all the action, Chris Flores.
Final instructions from our referee as we are set and ready for this featherweight contest here at Freedom Fight Night 2 in Mesa, Arizona. You've got Twilight Timmy Cuamba in the blue corner, black shorts, taking on Cody Crazy Legs Huard in the red corner, black and white shorts. He's representing Team Bader, Cuamba, Team Ortiz. We are set and underway. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir. And Cuamba was so clinical, and he said the key to this fight, he feels, against the longer, taller Cody, is just being precise, making good decisions, keeping that range, and being accurate, Frank.
Cuamba is, you know, good again, as we point out, great wrestler, great grappling, but has really built a great striking style there. On top of it in Vegas. And here he's just trying to pinpoint his shots, looking for something, a hole and a reaction in Cody. And Cody's the same. I think Cody's playing more the defensive counter shot. He's sitting there looking, all right, what are you going to bring and what holes am I going to see? Whereas you see the difference is Cuamba's like, all right, I'm going to poke and prod and see what reactions are occurring, and then within that set my traps.
Spinning attack there coming from Cody, but those snapping kicks, the rear kicks from Cuamba.
Yeah. You can't take many of those. Even, you know, you sit there and go, okay, well, they didn't land. You know, Cody blocked them on the forearms. It still crushes you. I mean, I've actually even cornered guys. I remember in a fight we watched over, we looked, and the guy blocked it and broke his forearm. And, you know, you can only catch so many of those full blast shots on the forearms. You got to either move out of the way, engage, and so they can become menacing even when they don't hit, you know, technically the mark, as far as not knocking maybe someone right on the neck or the chin, or hitting them in the solar plex, or catching them in the ribs. You just,
strong shots coming forward from Cuamba.
Cody's kind of got his head straight up, not really moving, and with someone who's as powerful and explosive as Cuamba, that could be a dangerous recipe. You can kind of see that Cody just, his head is almost constantly straight line right over his hips, which gives him great ability to move his weight. He's always balanced, but without that bit of head movement offline, he's a target. I mean, Cuamba can jump in with that 1-2, close his eyes, and he knows where Cody's going to be.
Those snapping kicks coming in again. Really impressive from Cuamba. Testing the metal there of Cody Huard. 2 minutes 50 seconds left in round number 1.
Yeah, just, you know, training there in Vegas, Dewey Cooper, K1 caliber kickboxer, boxer, you know, in his own day, in his own prime, and just has become a great coach. Really, I mean, has the likes of Francis Ngannou under his belt, and you see here what he's done with Cuamba. Took a kid who's a great grappler, and right now you see those kicks are just classically sharp and fast. But you know, Huard is in here. He's coming forward.
Oh yes,
throwing hard shots. He hasn't thrown in the towel. You can tell mentally he's not ready to. But just his standing there and blocking and taking it on the forearms, I think is going to start catching up on him, because his defense is to shell up on the punches and on the kicks. He closes his guard, so he's blocking the chin. He's not getting caught with a knockout. But even that right now, that cut.
There's a wince there as well. You saw that, Frank.
Yeah, because right now he's blocking the punches. So right now you can see Dewey's calling it out. He's going to come with the hands. He's going to get Huard to lift up and block the punches. But that means those elbows are going to lift up ever so slightly. And when they lift up, that roundhouse is coming underneath right there.
Oh, there you go. You see the elbow sticking in.
This is classic kickboxing. Punch, get the guy to lift his guard, take his ribs out.
And you talk about Dewey Cooper as a coach, but also some of the sparring partners that Timmy has. 2 UK fighters, Javed and Farid Basharat, main sparring partners. But look at the way that is digging in, and the damage just building up. Look from the torso up, Frank. Every side of that body, that left side of Cody is showing damage.
Here's what Cody has going for him. Life has dealt him a bad card. He is mentally as tough as they're going to come, because this guy shouldn't even be here. 100%. He's told he shouldn't even be in the gym. So you have a guy who's faced adversity. Some people, when they're right now feeling this, they're getting their butt handed to them, they're getting hurt, they're getting beat, they can hear the crowd, they freak out. They don't know what that feels like. This guy's grown up his whole life knowing what it feels like to have the crowd knowing that you're getting your butt kicked by life. And he's faced it, he's fought it, he's come back. So he's still dangerous.
Yeah, you talk about danger as well. 4 of his wins are by finish. 3 of those are knockouts, Frank. So he has faith in his hands, and he believes that it can only take 1 shot to change the fight for him. But that mental fortitude, you say, that has been ingrained in him through the life that he's had to lead. And even when you look at the way he's modified his style to cope with the injuries he's had throughout life and the operations, it's a phenomenal story, right?
Absolutely. Mental fortitude, but then it's going to get to a point to where his corners have to be involved. And we're not there yet, but I've seen guys that are too tough for their own good. He's definitely going to fit that, whereas you're going to have to go ahead and protect him from himself. Unless Cuamba's able to knock him out, he's not going to quit. There you see great combinations coming in. And then firing back, Cody is. The only thing, and the only qualm I have for it that's got him in trouble here is that his head stays right over his hips, right in the middle. There he's blocking. Cuamba's trying to look for the holes inside there. Landed a beautiful little head kick on the forearms of Cody. And right now it's just slightly the lead of Cuamba starting to take lead by jumping in, throwing really hard 1-2s, landing the hard shots, trying to go through the guard, and then firing off the leg kicks as they expose themselves and then opportunities come. He fires the shots, looks where, Cody's guard is, and goes, all right, going for the ribs. Oh, you're going to defend the ribs? I'm going to go for the head. Oh, you're looking to go ahead and maybe throw back a punch? I'm going to kick the legs out. And he just keeps rinsing and repeating. And right now, Cody's camp, his corner, better come up with some type of response. They better tell him for whatever he has, like, hey, you can't stand on a straight line. You're on the train tracks right now. And Cuamba's the train. He keeps coming forward. You're going back in a straight line, blocking these shots. And this isn't going to be the way to victory.
So we are underway with round number 2 here. This featherweight contest. Crazy Legs in the red corner, taking on Timmy Cuamba in the blue. And Cuamba, my goodness, the movement and just the intelligence of fighting that he's developed under the tutelage of Dewey Cooper, really impressive.
Yeah, and the stance is perfect. Look at his hips bent, athletic, explosive.
Footwork as well,
yeah, but because his stance is right. Too many guys in our sport, look, Muay Thai is not MMA. I mean, you see a lot of kickboxers sometimes bring that stance, and they lack mobility. Muay Thai guys stand right in front of each other. They don't have the same fluid footwork that boxing and wrestling requires, and it's really required in MMA, and that's why you see so many karate guys do so well in our sport, because they got great footwork on the open and that distance, moving back and forth, in and out, and they're able to stay balanced. And right now, Cuamba, because of his stance, has beautiful footwork, and he doesn't use a lot of energy. Look at him. He's not hopping around. He's not wasting energy. Each movement that he's doing when he explodes is accomplishing something. Whether it's a fake or a strike, he's accomplishing something. He's not just running around, jumping and wasting energy.
Huard doing the right thing as well. He's trying to make this ugly, Frank, and that's what he needs to do, right? Because if you give Cuamba the range, this is his bread and butter. Look at what he's able to achieve as far as damage already with 5 minutes gone.
Well, Cuamba's so explosive and so powerful. I agree with you. He needs to make it ugly. But by doing so, I would lower down on his power and increase the volume. Sometimes I give guys specific fighters, because that's how my brain works. Hey, fight like this guy right now. Right now, if I was in Cody's corner, I'd be like, hey, you need to embrace the Diaz brothers right now. I need a lot of output. Don't let Cuamba be able to set his feet and explode on you, because when he does, it's going to hurt. So let's go ahead and push this kid. Let's see if, because Cuamba's not going to be able to explode as many times if you lower the impact and keep up the...
a slip there. The referee stopped it. But there we go. And the referee, to his credit, I know some people might say that stoppage because of the fall back was maybe a bit quick, but the referee in between rounds told Cody, listen, you're taking a lot of damage.
Yes,
and
that wasn't specifically like you're saying, just that moment right there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the cumulative, and you can see it, just what he's wearing. But look, credit to Cody Huard as well. What a guy. What a guy. I mean, I got to spend some time with him yesterday. Super inspiring. How tough he is as well against a fighter like this. But my goodness, what is the ceiling for a fighter like Timmy Cuamba? We've seen him once fight a very dangerous, powerful striker in Dimitri Miller. He mixed up wrestling and grappling fluidly, and tonight it's been a clinical masterclass of range, of picking the right shots, and then all in all, just domination.
Yeah, striking looked top-notch. He faced a really tough opponent from him, Cody Huard, who wasn't going anywhere, and he had to stay composed. Here he's exploding, looking for shots, keeping his eye. And here, the one aspect of what he did, like, look, we could talk all night about the beauty of his technique, his balance, look at his footwork, to be able to move off, keep on there, beautiful check hook, moving backwards, worked in the body, different angles there. That was the end of the fight. Mouthpiece came out, referee saw that, knew there was an opportunity to stop the fight and save Cody Huard from himself. But his composure not to lose it and try to go for too much. To see a guy in front of him hurt and not to overextend himself. So Timmy Cuamba also showed a maturity that you don't get just from sparring.
Great respect between the two. That puts us 5-all now at Freedom Fight Night 2. Can we have another night like last time, where it came down to that very last fight? 5-all now between Team Bader and Team Ortiz. A brilliant, brilliant performance. Let's hand it to RMC to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Chris Flores, calls the fight after 2 minutes, 5 seconds of round 2 for your winner by TKO due to strikes, Twilight Timmy Cuamba.
Good. Man, phenomenal showcase of power, speed, technique. Your last fight showed your wrestling. This fight, you got to show your striking. What was going through your mind, though, in that fight? Here, you're landing some massive shots. Great power. He's still standing there going into the second round.
I'm not gonna lie, I was hitting him as hard as I could. He's a tough guy. I gotta give it to him. The guy could take punches and he's willing to give it back. He wasn't scared in there. He was just ready to fight. But you know, this fight game's all about fight IQ and who's the smartest and the strongest, like my coach Dewey Cooper says. He always implements me since I was a kid about that.
Yeah, you did actually, that's one thing I said during the commentary. You showed great composure, though. That's not easy for a young fighter like you. Have a guy who's almost out to not overextend themselves, not take those unnecessary risks. What were you doing to keep that mindset?
My mindset just came from experience, you know? These guys right here, Bubba Jenkins, Dewey Cooper, Big David Hayes, these guys, they really got me on another level mentally, physically. They always tell me in the gym, don't overexert yourself, you stay smart, you stay strong, you get the job done, and that's the game plan tonight, get the job done.
Look, you showed grappling, you showed striking. What do you feel's next for you? What's your next step for you here?
Hey, I'm ready for anything. I can strike, I can wrestle, I can grapple. You guys send anybody here, I'm taking them out.
Your winner, Timmy Cuamba!
Brilliant performance there from Timmy Cuamba. That puts the teams 5 points apiece. Team Bader taking a victory by rear naked choke in our first fight. Now Team Ortiz responds with Timmy Cuamba with an absolute dominant display of striking. Gets it done and claims those 5 points. A very happy team there. Dewey, Bubba Jenkins, Timmy Cuamba, all now 2-0 in the Freedom Fight Night cage.